Okay, I'm out in the garage today and I've got my FE250 up on the stand there, and today I'm going to check the valves. I'm going to check the valve clearance, and if I have to, I'll adjust the valves. I've got my shims and I'm ready to go. This is a 2020 FE250. It has 144 hours on it and about 3,670 kilometers. So really, it's not that much. It's still pretty fresh. Okay, got my tools laid out. Got to have a log for writing down the measurements for the valve clearances and just things like how many hours, how many kilometers on there. I've got my feeler gauges. I got my micrometer. This is actually a new one. It's nice. Last time I used an older one. I've got my DeWalt 3/8 inch ratchet and just a few simple tools here that I'm going to need, and very importantly, I've got my coffee. Okay, got the seat off. I got the tank off. Disconnected down here, just real simple. And don't forget to undo your wire there. And you don't have to take the cowlings off. You can just loosen them and just kind of pull them around this a little bit. Everything's in good shape. Now I want to clean it. Okay, how do you know when you're at top dead center? Well, basically, the older models had more little marks on them, you could tell. But here there's two little white marks, and they line up with this line in the middle there. So that should be at top dead center. So if we check our cams, see the cam is up, and this one's sticking up here. You see the top of it. Also, you can pull this little bolt down in here. It comes out of there. So I can get enough light in there, yeah. And you can pull it out and then take the little washer off of it, and then put it back in, and it should go right into a niche that holds it in place, top dead center. But we don't really need that just for checking. Now, if I'm going to change these valves, shims, then I'm going to do that. But first, I'm going to check it out. Okay, we got it at top dead center. And so you can see right in here, here's our cam, and there's the cam follower, or it spaces this, rides on the cam. It sits in between the cam and the top of the valve, and the little valve spacer. So we're going to measure right in there, in between there. So the tolerance on that is about 13 to 18 on the exhaust. This is the left side exhaust. And I've already measured it a couple times, but it's come out at basically 0.10 millimeters. So now I have to measure. So that's within tolerance, but that's the minimum tolerance. So I need to measure the other exhaust and then both of the intakes. So then I'll come back to you once I have some numbers there. Okay. So we got exhaust on the left side of the bike, 10. It's supposed to be, exhaust is supposed to be 13 to 18, so that's a little bit, that's small, below the minimum. And then 11. And then on the intake side, left and right, I've got 10 and 12, which is actually within limits. So I'm not sure if I want to adjust that or not, because it won't be adjusting much, but these I'm going to have to adjust. So that means I'm going to have to take off the cams and on the exhaust side anyway, and so that means loosening the chain up, taking the chain off, and taking that out of there. So that means I'm going to need to put that bolt down in the bottom there. That shiny one right there. I'm going to take that out and lock it in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. No, not losing any oil. up close, but you can see it's rounded on the end there. So now that should go in and hold it in place. And there's no oil coming out, so let's see what happens. So that lined up. Okay, can we see that mark in there? You can see the mark in there. I don't know if I can get the camera in that close, but you can see the mark in there when you turn it. I'll go ahead and put that in there. I don't want to crank it too much, just enough to hold it in place. Okay, so that's the little piece I took out. And that's just enough for that bolt to go in there and hold the engine in place so that it doesn't move. Loosen my cam chain tensioner so that I can get some tension off of there and remove this whole top piece here. Okay, so you can see now I've got the cam chain tensioner just backed out. It's actually hitting the frame, so I can't pull it out all the way. It's probably a way to do that, but I just thought I'll just do that to see if I can get it loose enough. You can see now the chain is loose. So hopefully that'll be enough to get that out of there, and I won't have to take that out, but I guess we'll see what happens. So now I need to take off these bolts holding this whole piece on here. And this piece is going to have to come out of here as well, where the spark plug goes. So this is blocking the that bolt there, so I got to get that out of there. Okay. Okay, I got it. There it is. Okay, you can see that there's not enough to get the chain off of there, but I realized that I can kind of pop this out of there and roll it up, and even enough to get it out of the way so that I can pop these up and I can get the cam out of there, the cam spacer out of there. So let's just do them one at a time. So I've got one there, and then I've got one on the other side there. Pop that up over there, same thing. And I'm going to use a magnet to get that out of there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the left side first. Left side first. Here we go. I'm going to flip up this little thing that it rides on. And underneath it there is a spacer there. And it should come right out of there. And it did come out. See, it's stuck to the end there. Okay, now I just got to measure it. Okay, so we've got, this one here is 215. So when I measured the original, 215. So if I want to get it from 10 to somewhere in between there, I need to use a smaller one. So I grab the 208, right? So 215 minus 208 is 07. So that's going to go from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which is around the max. And these don't get bigger and bigger, they get smaller and smaller as they wear. So that sounds about right. So it should bring it to about 17. 17, yeah. I only have so many different sizes here, and if I go much smaller, then it's going to get it down too close to the minimum. So I'm going to go with 208, and it should give me about 16 or 17. So let's see what happens. So now I'm going to flip up the little rider here, and it's not going to stay. Oh. Well, yeah, I'm going to flip that up, and then I'm going to put it right down in there. And I can't do that and hold that and film at the same time. So I'm going to pop it in there, then I'll start the film again. Okay, I got it set in there, so now you can see. I think you can see it sitting down in there now. I'm just going to pop that back down on top of it. And now I've got to do the second one on the other side. And I'm going to do the same with all 4 of these. Basically measure it, get the right one. Then I got to put it all back together and measure the tolerance again. So you don't want to mess it up, otherwise you're going to be taking it apart again. Okay, so you can see that I've got the, I set this back in there. This is the top that holds down the cams. Still loose. I've got it tightened down. Just set the bolts in there. I got both of my shims stuck in there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and torque these down, and then I'm gonna put the cam chain tensioner back in, and I'm going to you know, remeasure the valves and make sure that they're about where I want them. If they're not, I'm gonna have to take this all apart again and do it again. So let's hope for the best. Okay, so I measured the right side with my feeler gauges, and it came out to about probably 14. And then the other side is, I measured, is about 15 and a half. So according to our tolerances here, for 13 to 18, so that's just about right. I could have gone slightly bigger, but and I didn't adjust the front because that was within 10. 11 is on the minimum side, but it's still within tolerance. So okay, I did it, and now I just need to torque down those bolts for the holder there, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and put the spark plug piece back in there, and I got to remember to pull the bolt out. I already put the went ahead and put the tensioner back in. Remember, you don't have to take the tensioner out all the way, just loosen it up till it hits the frame, and then this can be popped up and rolled over to take out, and you could put it back in and then do the other side, and that keeps the chain in the right spot. As you can see there, let me get my, yeah, okay, and as you can see, I've got my 2 white dots lined up there directly across from each other, here and here. Oh, a little too bright there, and the chain's good and tight. So okay, so now I just got to put it all back together. So that's it. Try not to make this too long, but just it's very different than the KTM over there, which is a single overhead cam, and it's different from the older this is a new generation. 2020 is a new generation motor, so it doesn't have some of the marks that it describes if you look at some of the other videos. So I haven't seen any videos on the FE 250 2020 and later. So hope this helps, and just want to show you that you can do it. It's not too difficult with some simple hand tools, and a little bit of patience, and watch this video and some other videos as well. All right, have a great day. God bless. Okay, well, I just started her up after adjusting the valves. Runs perfect. I don't hear any valve noise. Just got the tank just sitting on there, just in case I got to take it apart. It's all hooked up though. Engine sounds perfect. Cool, success. Took me a few hours, most of Saturday afternoon, but got it done. Awesome.